We'll take a look at the Russell 2000 today, a market that has yet to participate in any of these pretty strong breakouts that are happening across the markets overall. And it's the only market that really hasn't done a massive move yet, but signs are coming in that this could be something approaching. So we're looking at the monthly chart here. Just a brief look. We spend a long time here in a consolidation, and we're starting to kind of slowly break out of the zone. The 150-day moving average, it's pointing higher. We have several monthly closes, but this 2000 2100 level in the Russell, it's very, very important. You can see that even before in 2021, we spent multiple months before we started declining, kind of consolidating, and the level that was holding, it was that 2100, the level that it's offering obviously resistance on the way up. So from this perspective, with this failure, monthly failure below here, which is what I think a C wave decline, I think this market is probably gearing up for a much larger move higher. And, so far they had a few false starts, but things are starting to look a little bit more interesting. I actually just finished writing the weekly report, and you can read all about it in here in the Russell as well. I mean, I follow in here, everything from the S&P 500. It's free, so you guys can go ahead and read this. I take a look at the S&P 500 and, through sentiment and volatility and cycles, breadth, stuff like that. So you'll find some notes about the Russell as well. But let me go back to the charts in here and take a look. So you can see that if I go to the daily, to my daily wave count, or you can even put it up on a weekly, doesn't really matter, right? The decline from this high, I'm having it as a wave A decline. Then you look at the massive triangle here in a wave B, and then you drop down in this wave C. And, I don't think it really matters the price action before this. I'm not that interested in that. But, what I do like, it's a 5-wave move up in here, a very long sideways consolidation. And the markets, really failed to break lower further into some kind of inequality between wave A and, let's say, a proposed wave C. So, we're looking now to see if we can get, so far we have a nice impulse off the lows. The first one that broke above that key zone where the triangle kind of had those upper waves. And then we pull back in what looked to be a very small 3-wave move. And then we try to break up again in what looks to be another 3-wave without a lot of conviction. So the market is kind of still hovering, and that's why I have or2 in here, just in case. Let's say that's a W, and you get, let's say you have an ABC in here for a wave W, you got an ABC for a B wave, and then you still drop lower in this wave 2. Maybe, as this month and kind of looking into middle of March, seasonality is a bit worse. That could help, maybe, increasing interest rates, things of that nature that would kind of, have an influence on the small caps, and you can get maybe a decline in a second wave in a wave C, and then you can actually reverse higher. So there's a couple of things to watch. I mean, if wave 2 is done, then you have a 1-2 or maybe a small leading diagonal forming, and if you're starting to break above 2100, guys, I think that that's going to be a pretty decent signal that you're going to start to move and break much higher in this larger wave 3. So the way that would look is, you would start to see an advance in here, and then you would build a larger third wave, at least equal with the wave 1, then a 4, then a 5, or a wave 1, 2, and then, if this is a larger degree is over, then this, over the next several years, a decade, who knows, right? That would be kind of trend that you would expect to continue to the upside. I mean, small caps are, they're very, very sensitive to interest rates. They're very volatile. There's a lot of, not very healthy stocks in there. They constantly kind of get washed out and new ones put in. And so, it's not a very, very strong index overall, but there was real no participation from this one. And I think it's due to start to kind of catch up with the larger indices. Now, if you're still, looking for a bearish outlook, and this one I have discount for you, where, you can look at this as a wave W, and then have an A, B, and then up in this wave C of a possible X. Maybe this was a small fourth, you're doing another push higher here in a fifth wave, you finish off a wave C, and then you start to decline, and you do end up with some kind of an equality between this wave W and this wave Y towards the 61.8, and only then you start to bottom out and then rally from there. But you notice that even just visually, I mean, this is a very strong impulse, and it took, I don't even know how many, the number of days it kind of took for this, or number of weeks to unfold. But whatever this is, just in a right look perspective, if you're going to go all the way back here, this would be quite of a stretch for a second wave in terms of time compared with the wave one. So I have my doubts that this is something that can actually still occur and be some kind of a second wave. It would have to be something else. But so that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't assign to this count a high probability anymore. It had a chance to get it done, through this decline if this move would have extended lower. But it did a failed break, as you can see here on the monthly chart, and now we're reversing to the upside. So small caps, are still lagging here, and they're still, roughly about 20% off the highs, maybe 18% at the moment. And if they're going to play a strong catch up, you can look at possibly these guys moving into 2025, 37 and maybe even a 40% rally from current levels as we're kind of moving. So, that's kind of what I wanted to show you in in the small caps, and kind of how a wave count would get structured on a longer time frame, on a smaller time frame, what I'm looking for in here, and kind of what are the levels. Again, if you wanted to kind of read this weekly piece, I think it's very interesting, and it kind of covers everything on the markets, on the core markets that we're watching from a price perspective, sentiment perspective, and with little commentary up in there. And then I also have the daily updates in here. That it's that is a paid version. It's quite affordable. So that's on the daily drip, where you can kind of come in here and read all about this. I actually incorporated the videos in here as well, so you will see it. You see, I think I have it up in here, where my daily video is up here, for the regular kind of daily market updates, and with Elliott Wave counts and commentaries, and all of that, even all the way down here, we talk about Bitcoin and all. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. I will be talking to you next time. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.